business to new insane revenue levels doesn't have to be overwhelming. It's all about the right strategy, team, efficiencies, and confidence. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Evolution podcast. With over 1 million downloads, it's the go-to business podcast dedicated to business owners who want to evolve out of operating in the day-to-day and make their dreams come true. I'm your host, Annette Walter, and I'm so happy you are here. As a former banker, I have now been an entrepreneur for over 15 years and have started, grown, acquired, and sold over 20 multi-million-dollar companies to date. Together, you and I will strengthen your existing business, build your dream team and process, grow your wealth and legacy, all while surrounding you with a community of rockstar entrepreneurs just like yourself. Are you ready to evolve? Let's get started. Hi there, entrepreneur. Welcome to this week's Entrepreneur Evolution podcast. Today, I am joined by Merrilee Kick, CEO and founder of BuzzBallz Southern Champion, the only woman-owned distillery, winery, brewery combination in the U.S. And guess what? She is a rock star. The interview actually took place on her birthday, and we got to celebrate with a great conversation that we want to share with you today. Most recently, she won the Women's President's Organization 2021 50 Fastest Growing Women-Owned Businesses. And I just love our conversation. She gives so much great advice and real life situations of her journey from startup to 100 million plus. You are going to love her product if you haven't tried it already. My favorite happens to be the margarita. She also shares some of her other favorites and the most popular on the call today of the BuzzBallz. It's amazing. Welcome, welcome. And make sure you tell us what you thought and what was your takeaway from today. If you want to learn more about her, www.buzzballs, BuzzBallz.com. And please share this with a friend. And that's about it. Keep evolving, entrepreneur. I am so proud of you. Welcome, Merrilee. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's my birthday. Woo-hoo.
I know it's your birthday and we get to be together. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being here. How is your birthday going?
It's going great. Lots of well-wishers. So all good.
Good. Well, today we are joined by Merrilee Kick, owner and CEO of BuzzBallz Southern Champion, and most recently recognized by the WPO for fastest 50 growing companies in the US or globally, really. I think that's a global award. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So I always like to start with your story in your words. So you can rewind and take us back to as far as you want, you know, how the story started and bring us up to date. And then we'll go through some of your recent growth and your team development.
Okay. Well, I started the company as a result of a master's degree thesis project that I was getting. I used to be a high school teacher in Plano, Texas, and my school said that they would help pay for my master's degree if I wanted to go get it. So one day while sitting by the pool grading papers and having a cocktail of choice, I was grading papers and also thinking about my master's degree thesis project, which we had to come up with some topic. Mm-hmm. And it was 2008 when I was going through that. And I thought, what survives in the recession, you know, in good times and bad. And I thought, you know, all the sins survive in good times and bad. So like drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling, you know, all those sins.
Right.
And I thought, well, you know, I'm drinking alcohol out here by the pool. Maybe I can make something that's like this little buzz ball, you know, that I'm holding. It was like a little votive candle that was in the shape of a ball. Wow. And I thought, wow, why don't I make a party ball type of drink? So anyway, that was the formation of the word BuzzBallz, and that's how that came to be. And I was trying to find a way to make more money than being a teacher. And I loved teaching, but I just needed to make more money. Mm-hmm. So started this company called BuzzBallz for the last 2 years while I was still teaching. So I would go to school and teach from 7 until 1 every day. And then I would spend my afternoons in a warehouse, cleaning up a warehouse and getting it prepared for a production warehouse. And I didn't know what I was doing. But I got my first sale to Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits in 2010. And the rest, I mean, we've been in business like 12 years now. Time has flown. But we grew from me being the only employee and hiring my high school age sons and their friends to now 250 real employees.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. So what grade did you get on the paper?
Oh, it was so funny because some of these things you have to do in teams. And so I hate team projects because there always ends up being one or two people that do all the work and then everybody else is lazy. So anyway, I ended up doing the majority of the work on this, all the finance, all the R&D, all the preparation, all the payments for everything. And then these other people were on my team. Well, the nerve, they decided to give me a B on my peer review because I wasn't sharing enough. I'm like, are you kidding? Are you kidding me? And so I got a B on my peer review. And this was such a weighted average project that it brought my grade to an 89.9. Keep in mind, I had straight A's throughout all of my master's degree. And this was my one B that I was going to get. And I was like, I went and talked to the master's degree professor. I said, you can't do this. You know that I did all this. You know that I worked on this. We've met multiple times on how to structure this and all this. He goes, yeah, I know. And he goes, yeah, but you got to be a team player. I'm like, I don't have to be a team player if I have to get stuff done. If they won't work with me and won't get stuff done. Anyway, he ended up giving me an A anyway. And so, and then a couple of years later, my university came back and gave me the Outstanding Alumni Award. And he was the one that had the impetus behind it because he goes, I didn't want to be that guy that gave you a B because I knew you would steamroll your way and you would find a way to make this thing a success. And it's a huge success. And we're just so proud of you. And we want to give you this alumni award. So anyway,
love it. I love it. I love it. What a great story. That's amazing. That's amazing. So you gently threw out there, I started this company and then I'm in a warehouse kind of moving around stuff. So take us that piece. Okay. Cause that's the question. Our audience, business owners of every single stage of the business, revenue size, employee size. But I get that question the most. How do I do step 1? How do I do step 20? So let's talk about step 1. How does it just happen?
Oh my gosh, there is no step 1. It's step 1,000 all at the same time. So you have to be an incredible multitasker. You have to have a lot of resources, which nobody does when they start their business usually. I maxed out all my credit cards. I took out a home equity line of credit, a HELOC. I took out an SBA loan, which I was lucky enough to get. My husband and I were in a bad situation. I was about to get a divorce and I had no money. And so it was just really a scary, scary time. And my husband had told me, don't use my 401k. Don't use my bank deposits from my work. He moved his checking account to a different bank altogether. My mom and dad luckily saved me. I was about 6 months into the business and I was cash flow poor because I was having to go to China to get some things made for my product. And because I couldn't afford anybody in the United States to do it. So I had to go out through Alibaba in China and find people that would work on my project with me. And the problem with that is the float time, the lead time between the time you pay for something and the time you actually receive it and you make your product. And then that float of 3 months, 4 months of inventory. So it's incredibly expensive. And anyway, my mom and dad gave me $50,000. They sold part of their ranch and sold my part of the ranch to me for the $50,000 and they gave me some cash. So that was enough to get me over the hump. But, I hired my sons, their friends, paid them with beer. I did everything I could. I hired people off Craigslist for $13 an hour. I did everything. I cleaned the bathrooms. I learned how to do shipping. I learned how to do customs clearance. I learned how to order product and hire consultants and, just everything is as much as I could. I slept in the warehouse, I took a bath in the sink, I had to do everything on the weekends just to try to get things going. But One thing that really made a difference for me was, I knew I had to sell more because I wasn't going to be cash flow positive until I could, float this thing. And I found out about a trade show. I was about to hire a consultant, and I asked this consultant, Bert, who knew everybody in the liquor industry. I said, "Hey, Bert, I need you to help sell for me because obviously I don't know enough people." And he said, "Well, Merrilee, I think you're doing a really good job. Are you going to WSWA?" I'm like, what's WSWA?
Right.
I didn't have any idea what it was, but I wrote it down and I researched it. And the minute he walked out the door, I looked it up, and it was the Wine and Spirits Wholesalers of America. It was a big trade show in Vegas. And my son and I, we scraped up enough money. It was like $2,000 to get the last booth available, a little 10 by 10.
Right.
And we loaded up the car and headed for Beverly. It was like one of those types of things where we just packed everything in my Saab, drove up to Vegas from Texas. We actually I couldn't afford the ice from the concessionaires at Caesar's Palace. It was something like $20 a bag of ice. I'm like, screw that. So we were going into the hotel, ice buckets on the main floor and bringing down our ice. It was just crazy how much we had to save. Well, in one day, we ended up getting 15 different state suppliers overnight, so that was the biggest breakthrough for us. That was the first real break. It was like, oh my gosh, we might actually make it, because I had only had one state before that. Now I'll have 16 states. And so I finally felt like that was going to be a great day. And son and I went out to dinner that night. Bellagio, walked in with our jeans and our BuzzBallz t-shirts on, and they looked us up and down and said, "Do you want to check out the menu prices first before you come in here?"
Oh my goodness. You're like, no, we just had a really great day.
Like, we're going to have some awesome Lebanese wine here. So
right. Oh, well, everything like that moment, right, that you just described. I got chills as you were telling the story. That moment of, and you just said, I think we're going to make it, right? And then going out and celebrating that. It's huge. What year was that?
That was 2012.
Okay. So now fast forward, let's talk about your team and your growth and, from paying people with beer, quote unquote, to 250 employees.
Okay. So, 2014, I hired my first salesperson besides myself, so I hired a girl who had been a bartender in New York, and I brought her in, and she was bubbly and Miss Arkansas, and stuff like that, that kind of pom-pom spirit, and brought her in, and she started helping sell. And she was younger, kind of the same age as these buyers were. So I sent her out to the distributors, and she helped a lot, and she would go out on the road and go and help sell. Well, one day she called me and she goes, "Hey, Merrilee, I've got some good news. I'm up in Missouri, and I think Walmart, I might get us into a Walmart." I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is just amazing." And she goes, "Oh, strike that. I'll call you back." And I was like, "Oh, dang." So she calls me back, leaves a message. She goes, "I'm not going to get us into the Walmart I said I was going to get us into." She goes, "I'm going to get us into 300 Walmarts in Missouri." I was like, "You're kidding me." So, that was the start of a great thing. That year we sold we tripled our revenue that year. Nice. So it was just an amazing year. Then we had a couple of rocky years. And then the very first guy I had ever hired, the very first guy that ever gave me a chance with BuzzBallz, the very first buyer from Southern Glazers in Texas, his name was Blair Casey. I sold my first BuzzBall to him. I went to him at Southern Glazers and I said, "Blair, come work for me." And here he is, this legend from Gallo and from Southern Glazers, 25 years of experience. Wow. And I broke the bank hiring him, I'm like, come help me. Everybody knows you. I need that. Our sales have just skyrocketed from him. It's been really a great ride. And then I brought in Tracy Frisbee from Constellation Brand. So in other words, I could start affording these, I call them shirts, the people that really know their business and they know everybody in it. And it doesn't just rely on my knowledge and my creativity. It's actual skill, Yes. So brought Blair in. He's still with us today. He's been with us 4 years. I told him, I said, hey, it would be awesome if we could get to $100 million in sales someday. He got that in like 3 years.
Oh my goodness. And it's so amazing when you have that help, when it's like a little bit off of you, right? And you have
Yeah.
someone to say, well, I've seen it done like this, we'll do it whatever way you want to, but like, you could do it this, this, and this. And it's like, oh, it's help, right?
Oh my God, it's so great. And, so now we have like 250 employees, 500,000 square feet of production facilities. We're vertically integrated. So we do everything. We make our own containers.
Awesome.
We have our own machinery. We make all of our product. We help sell it. We help market it. We just went global. So we're selling overseas now. We've been selling in Korea for quite some time. But this is like a major brag moment for me. We just got into 7-Eleven in Taiwan. And Taiwan has 6,000 7-Elevens in it, just in Taiwan alone. And the same guy that runs the Taiwan in 7-Eleven over there, he also runs Thailand and Vietnam and Philippines and Japan for 7-Eleven. And he wants to bring us into all of those. And that would like double our income from what we have right now.
Insane.
So just from Asia alone. And then we're getting into the UK and have different distributors up there. So it's so exciting, so freaking exciting, just to walk in the door. I mean, I don't even have enough parking spots out in front of my building, for everybody to park, so little growth pains.
Yes. Well, that's beyond exciting. I mean, congratulations. That's
Thank you.
just so remarkable. It's amazing. And it sounds like, you're not done yet. You're just really getting, loaded and started and really taking off. That's just a fabulous story. So what keeps you going?
I think what keeps me going is my team. I get to do fun things like podcasts and, I'm going to Ursuline Academy, a Christian school here in Dallas, to speak about marketing on Friday and give the girls some swag and, high school girls. We've done all kinds of things for our employees too. Like we cook lunch for everybody every day. We have a cook on staff. We give them their birthday day off. And I should have taken my birthday day off.
I know. I'm like, what?
But like we brought in people to give shots, COVID shots, immunizations, the National Guard to come here. Mm-hmm. We had a school for children, for my employees' children, because I'm like, they have to work.
Yes.
They can't take time off, and they don't have a granny or a nanny or a tutor, they can't afford all that, so we'll just get a teacher, a certified teacher that will help them log on to their school, make sure that they get their homework done, make sure they eat, make sure they're supervised. So we started this little BuzzBallz school called The Nest, and we had the little babies in there, they were so like fun. 1st through 5th grade. So
that's great.
Just things like that make me excited. And new brands, new brands, R&D, innovation is always fun for me. What if, and I toss that around with my team, like what if we try a THC beverage, I mean, the marijuana type, what I mean, that goes along with our mantra to reinvent happy hour, just we want to have you celebrate happy hour the way you like to celebrate happy hour. But at the same time, we want to be good to our employees and good to our family first, so.
Absolutely. Well, and the little nest school or the big nest school, I mean, it's so amazing that you did that, because if you think about it, just from the operational standpoint alone, it probably saved you millions, really, because you would have been out of production, right?
Right. I wouldn't have had anybody on the production floor because they'd be home taking care of their kids.
Right. So
they wouldn't be able to make rent.
I know. And it's just a proud moment when you can keep everyone employed. I think we're getting a little bit of noise here. Not sure where that's coming from. Anyway, so what's everybody's favorite flavor?
Well, our number one flavor right now is called Chalk Teas. It's a chocolatini. And that's our number one brand. And then we also have the margarita which is a really hot brand. And then a couple of new ones, chili mango. And we've got an eggnog that came out over the holidays. It was really good. Horchata, if you like rice milk. And one of the new ones that we haven't really launched yet, we're just starting, is espresso martini. So good. It's
right.
so good.
Absolutely. I've had your margarita. It's fabulous. And it's interesting to watch the beverage space and how many new things have entered, non-alcoholic and alcoholic. But it is, I don't know the stats on that, maybe you do, but it's so interesting to see the creativeness, like you said, that's coming through. And your product is, if people haven't tried it out there, they need to try it, because it has everything. It really does.
A lot of variety there. We do see the non-alcoholic side. And we would like to get into some non-alcoholic beverages too. The trick here is shelf life, because, it's hard to keep, say, orange juice in your fridge forever. How long would orange juice stay in your fridge? Would it stay in there for a year? Yeah. How long is that fresh? Yeah. So you got to start looking at shelf life considerations. And if you have no alcohol in there to keep it stable, it's going to start growing mold and bacteria.
Right.
Yeast.
Absolutely.
Nasty.
It'd be good for the kids like the shape, it'd be good for something like that. We don't have anything great and healthy in the kid market. Personally, I'm saying, putting my mom hat on there.
Come on. They could take those Capri Suns and do something with them, I guess, or things in a box,
Okay. So I don't want to take up too much of your birthday time, and you've already shared so much with us. So as we start to wrap up, just a couple last questions. With what you've done and what you've accomplished, what are your words of wisdom to other entrepreneurs out there?
It depends on how far along they are. If they're a beginning entrepreneur, I would practice what you do and be able to say that succinctly. I make booze. I make alcoholic beverages. I sell to distributors in 50 states and 21 countries. Be able to say that as a pitch, because there's so many times I meet women at these conferences and it takes 5 minutes for them to describe who they are and what they do. And at the end, I'm still asking questions. You mean this? You mean that? Are you saying this? And it's confusing, so it's like, be able to say what you do and be very clear about it. I help companies understand their financial capital. What does that mean? How do you do that? So I think just be really succinct. So that would be one bit of advice. Other bits of advice: really trust your intuition, your premonitions, your dreams. You're going to wake up at 3 a.m. and something's going to keep you up, something that you're worried about. If you're a real entrepreneur, those things happen all the time. You're worried about the little details. And hopefully you hire good enough people that they'll follow up on those details, but sometimes they don't. Even if they're good people, they just don't have the bandwidth to keep up with all of your stuff. So be sure and, delegate, but check and make sure that they're able to handle it. You don't want them to quit if they're good.
Right.
And think about things that you can do for them, like free lunches, or, even if I started this thing called a bottoms up lunch, which I really like, bottoms up for drinking, but every Wednesday I have an employee sign up for my lunches and I buy whatever they want. They come eat with me. We talk about whatever they want to talk about. Mm-hmm. Anybody they want to talk about, improvements, ideas, ways to catapult their career, and I get a lot of good scoop. So I would suggest opening something like that up too with your employees, because I think employees, they don't quit if they feel valued.
Absolutely. Those are just really good. All that was gold. So good at every level. So, okay, last question. What's your personal mantra? What's your personal quote to yourself when you have those moments of doubt or the racing minutes at 2 a.m. that we get?
Well, whenever a crisis strikes or there's a problem, I just get down to basics. I roll up my sleeves, I write things down, I break it down into bits and start assigning people things. It's like, you do this, you go this way, you go that way. And we just kind of like set it up, like we've got a mission to accomplish. So I think that my ability to quickly cut through the weeds and get to the heart of the matter has saved me many times. Yeah.
Great. That's great. Okay. So this has been so wonderful. Honestly, I loved every minute of it. Thank you for being here. Where can we find you, support you, promote you, buy from you? What can we do for you?
We're in all 50 states. We've got Uptown Cocktails. We've got BuzzBallz. We've got BuzzBallz Chillers. You'll find us in the grocery stores, Kroger, Albertsons, Stater Brothers, Myers, soon Publix. We're starting to get into Smart and Final and Food Lion and you name it. I mean, Dollar General, all kinds of places, plus all those mom and pop convenience stores, a lot of convenience stores, 7-Eleven, so look for Sip Sipper and Uptown Cocktails are at Target and at the grocery stores. So I think that you'll find us if you look hard enough, you'll find those little round fun balls.
Absolutely.
Have a ball.
Absolutely. That's right. Have a ball. I love it. Well, thank you so much. And I will talk to you soon. You're amazing. Keep it up. Congratulations and happy birthday.
Thank you for this opportunity and thanks for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Bye.
Wow, what an episode. Did you learn something new? I hope so. I am so happy you were able to be here with us today. I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a review and I will be sure to read it and respond to you. Also, if you'd like to email me, my email address is yourock@ievolveconsulting.com. Hit subscribe, and every Tuesday you'll get notification when the next episode drops. We really have some amazing interviews and tips in the future. Anything you need, I'm here for you. I want you to keep your momentum. I want to help you stay accountable. I want you to stay inspired. I want you to evolve. So please let me know what you need, and I'd love to hear from you. Take care until next time.